Let's briefly discuss touchscreens. Touchscreens and digitizers enable a user to tap or write on the screen. It can be done by tapping with a finger or using a stylus. These touchscreens are commonly found in smartphones, tablets, Chromebooks, and some laptops. Laptops that incorporate touchscreens are not only output devices, but are also input devices, which in some cases requires a separate connector. Not all laptops have touchscreens, though, and those that have them may suffer from lower resolution than other mobile devices, such as smartphones and tablets, making them less accurate. The digitizer is often separate. More accurately, the digitizer is a device that converts tapped or written impulses on the screen, those analog impulses that we tap on there, and it converts those into instructions that are digital for the operating system to follow. It's often an overlay for an LCD screen, but that will depend on the device. The better the resolution and the better the digitizer, the better the overall experience will be for the user. And touchscreen functionality can be added to a laptop if it doesn't have it in a variety of ways. One, we can install a replacement screen and or digitizer. And if you have an older laptop, you probably won't be able to do an all-in-one screen. But it could be that someone purchased a laptop, but they didn't go for the touchscreen capability, though it was available on that model. So you could always upgrade that screen. So in some cases, it's possible to get a replacement screen and digitizer. Or we could install an overlay on top of the device, which either connects internally or could possibly be USB based. Or we could install a magnetic bar on the bottom that allows for touchscreen capability. And these are usually USB based as well. So let's take a look at a couple of the devices that use touchscreens. Okay, and you can see here I have several devices. And so here we have an iPad and standard touchscreen for that. It's all built in. You've got your display with the touchscreen overlay. It's all one piece, and we can move about just by tapping on the screen, right? Over here we have a smartphone, which you'd use for tapping, and this is normal. Just about everybody uses these. And then here we have a Chromebook, and Chromebooks and laptops might have touchscreens as well. Now, I had shown opening a laptop display previously, and we had used a tool, a shim tool, to do that. Now, that's good for many laptops, but for devices like these, like Chromebooks, and for iPads and other tablets, and also smartphones, you're going to want to pry open these a little bit differently because it's such a thin area that you're working with. So one of the tools I use a lot is called a spudger. Some people call it a spludger. And there's plastic versions, but the metal versions are usually what you want. Very thin end. And I actually use this for a lot of different things to get the tabs off of the top of the screws. We showed using this. And it's good to have a kit of these different sizes that you can use to help separate the display or open up one of these devices. So that's definitely a tool you want to have, or a set of these in your kit. And I use these all the time. Now, touchscreen functionality can be kind of funny. Sometimes if you're working, and you're working, say, in a web page, we can use a mouse, which I'm using now, and we can use the touchpad as well to go about between different things here. But sometimes you'll notice that clicking on these items with, say, the touchpad or with the mouse doesn't work. You actually have to do it with tapping on the screen in order to actually bring those down. to bring on that menu. And so sometimes you actually have to touch, and sometimes there's settings you can change to modify this. And it all depends on how the website is configured as well. And let's show this close up. What I was doing here was I was using the mouse to take a look at these menu options on my website. But by hovering, it doesn't do anything. The menu doesn't come down. And by clicking, nothing happens as well. We have to actually tap on it to get that menu to actually come down here for these different menus. And I'm tapping on the screen right now to get that menu information. So, it may work a little bit differently with Chromebooks or laptops or tablets. It all depends on what you're using. So you have to be ready to use a combination of the keyboard, the mouse, the touchpad, and either tapping on the screen or using some type of stylus. And so, for example, here, this smartphone has a stylus built in on the bottom. And you can pull that out, and you can use that. Use that on your screen. You can use it on other screens as well. Now, this may or may not work because the digitizer may be designed more for a finger, where it's capacitive, or you may be able to use a stylus as well. Depends on the device. Okay, and so we can also add, as we mentioned, we can add touchscreens to laptops as well. But if you look at this particular laptop, we'll see here, all we had was that one connector. We removed this display in a different video, and all we had was that one connector. And that connector does not allow, on this laptop, it does not allow for touchscreen capability. Some similar laptops to this around the same age do allow for it, but it doesn't look like anyone offers one for this, and it's really because of the circuitry inside there. But basically what you could do is, with laptops, is you could either remove the entire LCD and put in a combo kit, an LCD and as well as a digitizer overlay, or you could just leave this screen and put on a digitizer overlay if it fits under the bezel and if you have the connectivity for it. So in some cases you can add that on. But many more laptops are coming with that touch screen ability, where you can actually touch on a screen and do everything you'd need to do on that guy. And you have laptops and also Chromebooks that can be used as a laptop, or you can flip them over and use them just as a tablet, or you can fold them in a V, that kind of thing. So there's lots of options there. So keep in mind here that you can install replacement screens or digitizers on these, especially as overlays within your devices. And if you're called upon to do so, you'll have to do the same type of thing we did when we removed the display. You'll have to remove the bezel or take the display apart. And then if you're doing a digitizer overlay, you can put that in as long as it's compatible. If you have to, you remove the entire screen and remove those 4 screws, the entire display, and put a new display and digitizer in there. So you have to be careful whenever you're working on these types of things. Make sure that you're safe and employing ESD prevention, and work in a safe environment, and everything should go smoothly. So that's about it for this video.